Hey wrestling fans, this is Rick from rickswrestlingblog.com, and hey, today I wanted to mention a DVD series that came out, Legends of the Mid-South Wrestling, and I gotta tell you, this is one of the best DVDs that I've seen in a while. And I'm not a big fan of actually a lot of DVDs out there, but this one is really good. And it talks a lot about this is really Mid-South. At the time was more of a Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, that kind of area, and it was also promoted by Bill Watts. In other words, he was the owner. But you see a lot of stars here in the Mid-South, where this was early '80s, and you've got the Jim Neidharts, the Butch Reeds, Terry Taylor, Ted DiBiase, Ric Flair, JYD, Steve Williams, Dr. Death, and Paul Orndorff. So I mean, there were so many other wrestlers here, and a lot of them just really began their careers here, and several of them went from here to WWF, which was WWF at the time. Right now it's WWE, but there's a lot of entertainers that actually started here, and McMahon eventually snatched up. But what I like about this DVD set is that it tells you about the history of how it began, and for how many years they ran. And I'll tell you, they weren't around that long. But I tell you what, they put together some pretty entertaining matches. You're looking at Junkyard Dog here, and Junkyard Dog, he was like the Hulk Hogan of the Mid-South Wrestling. I mean, when he came in, he knew how to just thrill that crowd. But it's funny because this DVD will tell you how raw he was, how he was talented in a way where he knew what to do with the crowd, but he wasn't a great wrestler, so they had to teach him quite a bit. But at the same time, you have someone like Ted DiBiase, who he started in this wrestling and was a face, and then eventually turned heel. And but he was huge. I mean, I wouldn't call him a Hulk Hogan type huge, but maybe more like a Bret Hart type huge. And we know Bret Hart had a tremendous career, but Ted DiBiase was huge in this area too. And so was Jake the Snake, and so many other ones that are here. I mean, we'll see other ones like the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, and Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes, and Jim Duggan, Matt Bourne. In fact, Ted DiBiase actually had a team called the Rat Pack. He was the head of it, and it was him and Jim Duggan, along with Matt Bourne. And so the three of them were kind of like the horsemen of the Mid-South in a way, even though there was only three of them. But I tell you what, these guys just held every title. The Louisiana title, the Mid-South Tag Team titles, the North American title. And then they had all sorts of crazy kind of matches. Besides, the no DQ type matches, they had coal miners glove match. They had steel cage match. They had matches where you would have to leave the organization for 30 days or up to 90 days. But there was so much in this DVD series that I thought it was worth talking about. And so, it goes all the way through and talking about Freebirds came in. You had the Fantastics were there, Terry Taylor, Eddie Gilbert, Rick Steiner, Sting. In fact, did you know that Sting actually came in with the Ultimate Warrior at the time, and they formed a tag team, and were a pretty fierce tag team to deal with back in the day. And I tell you what, these guys were huge. So it was pretty cool to see things like that, because I like to see the past and see where these guys have come from. So anyway, this is it goes through that whole history on it and how it started, and the belt and all that. And then it goes into how eventually it had to be sold off for financial reasons. They eventually converted to become the UWF to try to increase and bring in more, because the WWF was just starting to build up at that point, and the WCW was building up at that point, and or I should say, it wasn't even WCW, it was the Mid-Atlantic. So they were building up, and these guys wanted to continue to compete, so they became the UWF, and were competing more on a nationwide. But eventually they had to sell out, and they actually sold. They ended up selling the company, and so that was kind of the end of it. But I tell you what, it's got a lot of good stuff on this DVD. And even though they ended up selling to Jim Crockett, and eventually left the NWA and all that kind of stuff, later on there's other history on that we can talk about later. But for the time being, this is a great series. And if you open it up, you've got the pictures on the inside with some of those big time wrestlers that were there. I did mention the Freebirds too, and it's a 3-disc set of Legends, and I wasn't disappointed at all. It gave a lot of good history with matches in between, and I really like those DVD sets that give you some good history and not just one match after another. This one would give you history, go into a match, then give you more history, then go into another match, then and so forth, and throughout the whole thing. And so this I found to be pretty entertaining, and one of the best ones I've seen in a while. So I highly recommend it. And if anybody's interested, I do have an affiliate link down below to Amazon. Amazon's probably the best place to buy it anyway, because you can sell it. You can buy it actually a lot cheaper than buying it brand new from the store. So, but I do recommend it. And if you are interested, go ahead and click on that affiliate link for Amazon.com and make a purchase. All right. Well, thanks a lot. That's all for now, and we'll get back to you with the next one. Thanks. Bye.